Morning, world. It is almost 6 o'clock in the morning. I was supposed to have an interview today with another company, and the meeting got rescheduled. I'm mainly irritated at myself. I cannot be irritated at the company. Something came up for the interviewer that I was supposed to talk to, and she wasn't able to reschedule, and he or she wasn't able to find another person to take the interview for her, him or her. So the biggest issue I ran into was the fact that I knew I was getting up early, and Kyle and I went to bed fairly early last night. We went to bed at like what?
11-ish.
We went to bed at about 11ish. And I got this email asking to reschedule at 12:30 in the morning, and we were obviously dead asleep and tired. I think Kyle might have been up, but he's probably going to do an interview review in the next week or so. He's in step 2 of an interview with a company that actually I was told no from. So it's no big deal. Whatever. He's got more experience than I do, obviously. I'm mainly here just to rant for a second about some of the problems, obviously, that you're going to run into while trying to hold interviews across an ocean and with about a 14-hour time difference. If I sneeze, I'm very sorry. My nose is all tickly. So, Japan obviously is about 14 hours ahead of us, which would make it 8 o'clock right now in the evening for them. And it's obviously 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time where Waynesville is located. And if you plan ahead, doing an interview like this is not going to be a problem. But obviously, it's going to be the same thing with America. Scheduling an interview, you plan around the interview. You take that day off if you can. You make sure, especially if you're doing it over Skype, that nothing's going to be able to bother you. Your pets are not going to be able to come in. Anybody in the household knows that you have an interview and they can't come into whatever room you're interviewing in and bother you and make a lot of noise, which is just rude and unprofessional anyway. And obviously, by telling them that, you are also kind of promising that you're not going to create a lot of noise. I told Kyle about this a while ago. We, for the last couple of days, have been trying to remember that my interview was today. Obviously told Kyle, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to actually stick you out on the couch for a little while. I hope you don't mind. He's like, I don't mind, as long as he's up a little bit later. The 14-hour time difference is just the hardest part because you have to plan really, really well because then you have to remember that they are so far in advance. You have to take off 14 hours from the clock to make sure that it fits your schedule well. A couple of the companies that I am applying through have actually just said, okay, go to this website. We're going to have a Google Calendar, and you get to pick the time slot that we're going to have the interview in. And obviously, all the times, if they tell you, are going to be in Japan Standard Time. So you can sit there and you can figure out the time and you can figure out what's going to be best for you. It's kind of the ones where you run into that they're asking for multiple times that can actually kind of create a hiccup, which is what I've run into. But again, it's no big deal. I've got an interview set up for a better time, hopefully later, where it's a little bit more agreeable to both of us, where it's really late in the evening for me, because I'm kind of a night owl, and it's a little bit earlier in the day for them. So I'll post this. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment box below and I will try and get to them. Or you can go to Japanoblog's page and you can send us a contact email and we will get back to you with any questions that we have. Especially if you have any questions about the interview process. We're filming this for you guys, especially for those of you that actually want to come to Japan. We're documenting our process, so you have something a little bit more to go on than just reading random stuff anywhere. But still about 6 o'clock in the morning. It's now closer to 5 till 6 in the morning, and I started about 10 till 6 in the morning. So this is going to come out a little bit later today. But again, no big deal. This is the joys of having interviews. You're still going to probably have the same, very similar problem if you're having interviews here in America. So don't think this is just an international thing. Being having these be international is obviously making it a little bit more difficult. But it's either I do these through Skype or I have to go to Japan and already live there or fly there just to have these interviews, and that is a butt ton of money. So, I'll see y'all later, and keep on the lookout for more interview reviews. We got more coming up. So, see y'all later. じゃあまたね